All right, all right, all right. We in here, y'all. We in here. What's going on, everybody? What is going on? Today's going to be very exciting. I want to talk about a very important subject: belief versus reality. Here's the thing. There's a lady, right? And we're going to get into it. We're going to play her video. There is a lady that actually had passed away. What you call near-death experiences, right? And because of her near-death experiences, it caused her to write a book. And I believe she had like 4 of them. And throughout these near-death experiences, she collected some information about what life is really about. And she brought it back here. You know, we have a lot of ideals and beliefs and, you know, just things that govern our everyday lives. But are they really true? That really becomes the question. Are they really true? So I thought that was very interesting. And so the video that I'm going to play for you coming up is going to give you an excerpt of her book. But first, we're actually going to play a video from the woke light worker from TikTok. And she talks about victimhood. Do you have to be a victim? Or do you have choices? That's the tone, basically, of the video. And I think this is very important for us to go over. Now, mind you, what I'll do every Friday, just to give you a heads up, and thank you so much for clicking on here. You don't want to click off. My name is Racquel, by the way. I introduce what we're talking about, and then after that, I play the video. And after the video, we do question and answer portion. We discuss things, discuss what you see, how you felt about it, give any questions, and if they can be answered, I'll answer them, or we will explore them on the next session. And that's how it goes. So I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. And we're going to get to the video. Hey, you have tuned into Racqi Road TV with your girl Racquel, where we laugh, learn, brainstorm, and expand our consciousness together. Today we will be talking about belief versus reality. Some of the things we will be covering is what is belief, victimhood, accountability, and reality. I was watching this podcast called Love Covered Life Podcast, and she had a guest on there, Nanci Danison. The interview was so great, and I have the information in the information section. The interview was so great that I decided to buy her book. There is an excerpt in there that I think is very important when it comes to reality and beliefs that we've been taught to combat those things. And because there's a lot of distorted beliefs, right? And some are necessary to keep us on the path. And when I mean necessary, I will say it's helpful, and some things are hurtful depending on scenarios and stuff like that. We're going to go over that. And I also have a video from TikTok with the light worker. And she has a video entitled, "Are You a Victim of Traumatic Events as an Adult?" So we're going to start off with that video, and then we're going to lead into the book so things can flow. So this is an episode you do not want to click off. Don't you dare click off. Make sure you make sure you share this, because this is the type of stuff, baby, we need. Stay with me, and we're going to be back. Thank you for choosing Racqi Road TV, a channel where the viewer is spiritual royalty. Here on Racqi Road TV, you and I laugh, learn, brainstorm, and expand our consciousness together. My name is Racquel, your earthly spirit guide and spiritual alchemist. Please make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. If you clicked on this video, it was meant for you, so stick around. Thank you so much for staying with me. You won't regret it. I thank you. Okay, so now we're going to get into this video, right? Are you a victim of traumatic events as an adult? With a woke light worker. So let's play it, and we're going to talk about it.
As an adult, there is no such thing as being a victim to anything that happens in our lives, including things that are bad. On some level, we choose all things, whether it's conscious, unconscious, or on a soul level. And again, I'm talking about adults. We have the choice which job we're going to take, which job we're going to keep, who we're going to marry, who we're not going to stay married to, how we allow people to treat us, how we don't allow people to treat us. And by the choices we make, we are creating and framing our life. And we can either create our lives consciously or unconsciously. We do, of course, make some decisions on a soul level, but those are still choices made by another part, another aspect of us. So we're not a victim. We even choose our death door or the date that we want to check out of this planet and under what circumstances. So I had a session the other day and I made a TikTok video about this, about a woman who stayed married to a man for 24 years who was very abusive to her and threatened to kill her many, many times and was actually on his way to kill her the night he ended up dying in a car accident. Was she a victim? Absolutely not. Was I a victim when I stayed married to an abusive, narcissistic man? Again, the answer is no. I chose to participate in his life. She chose to continue to be married to her husband and participate in his life, even though her spirit team under higher self-hypnosis told her she was never even intended to marry him. She wasn't supposed to. She, with her free will, chose to marry him and then stay with him for 24 years. This is an example of surrendering our power to someone else and not being in our own power. And when we do this, we have chosen to be part of that reality and co-create with that other person, even if it's not comfortable and we feel like it's not fair on a conscious level. We still made the choice. We may not have written the play and all the lines in this play, but we agreed to enter onto the stage and remain there. That initial decision to enter into that person's life and enter onto the stage with them is us giving consent to whatever happens afterwards. And by agreeing to enter onto the stage of this person's life makes us not a victim. We have the choice to either consciously create our own life or enter into the realities of others. Taking back our power is when we realize that we don't have to read anyone else's script. We don't have to be part of their reality. We are in charge of our life. We are not a victim. We can write the script any way we want and be the main character on our own stage, instead of being a supporting character reading lines that don't bring us bliss, joy, or happiness.
So what is a victim? A victim is defined as a person harmed, injured, or killed as a result of a crime, accident, or other event or action, or a person who is tricked or duped, or a living creature killed as a religious sacrifice. Although in certain instances you might be a victim, you choose to remain to be one. So you can go from victim to victor. But also, a lot of times people get hung up because they say, well, this is not easy. Well, no, choice is not always easy. It's easy to choose to get in some shit. Sometimes it's difficult to make the choice to get out of it for various reasons. It could be the child that you share with the individual. It could be where you live, where you used to, just a lot of things. Your family is around, whatever. I'm using this as an example as a relationship because that's what she was talking about. So you could be with someone abusive and maybe you need to move to a whole nother state to get away from them. Is that easy? No. But the choice maybe might be in your best interest to make. So choices aren't always easy. And I think that's why we sometimes stay in victimhood, because sometimes it's hard to step out on those hard choices and make those changes. Now that she has said that, and basically the undertone of this is accountability, right? Taking responsibility and taking some accountability, taking charge of your life. I want to go into this excerpt about the book, Create a New Reality with Nanci Danison. I want to get into, that podcast in which I explain. I have the YouTube link so you can go watch it if you're interested of what caused me to buy this book and to partially make this video. I even put the link of the book also in there. So watching this really made me like, oh, I gotta buy the book. There are so many religions and beliefs and understandings, and some people believe that their religion is what's true and yours is not and all that stuff, but it's all beliefs. And It's very interesting how beliefs tend to manifest in life, right? Because we are co-creators. We are creator. We are from the source. The source is what fuels us, makes us possible. We are part of that. And I'm going to get into that again with the book, right? I really think this is some information that needs to be heard. Of course, I'm not going to sit up here and read the whole book to y'all, but I have a good part that you want to hear and to put you at ease, because I think so many of us, we're living in bondage. Our life is really constricted and restricted by our beliefs. If we see things from a different perspective, life could be different. I know so many people are really a slave to life because of their beliefs, and generally is religious based. So I'm gonna get into this. I'm sure after you hear this, you're probably gonna want to buy the book. The book was good. I finished it in a few days. I had to read growing up. So she starts off with a bang, doesn't it? What is reality? All of our beliefs about life, religious, spiritual, philosophical, or scientific spring from the central premise that we are separate beings from our Creator, from our God. Everything we think we know about the universe, life, death, and the afterlife hinges on the belief that we are separate from God and have to find our way to heaven or paradise on our own. We feel alone, physically cut off from all the beings as well as our God. No matter how much we love our families and friends, we still feel as if we are separate beings from them. We feel we are individual humans cast out into life to find our own way. This is sometimes hopeless reality many of us know. But what if the central premise is false? What if it's not true, that we are separate from our Creator, from each other, from the rest of the universe? What if we're not even human? I learned in the afterlife the core doctrine of my childhood religion is false. We are not alone, we are not separate, and we are not left to fend for ourselves. The eternal reality I both learned and lived is what we are in truth, the God we worship. That truth opened up for me a whole new world of superpowers, one which is our power to create what humans know as physical matter. We souls can individually and collectively change the physical reality we experience as human life. Let us start with my memories of the creation of the universe to understand how this is possible. A brief summary of creation. Before I died, I essentially believed the Genesis account of creation, that God created the physical universe and then created me and all other humans, each possessed of an eternal soul. I wholly and completely believed I was a human being. That human life is real, and that Nanci's life was my only chance to earn my way into heaven. I found out in the afterlife that what my former religion teaches is not true. I learned that religions are based on human thinking that we souls have no reason to reject, because while on earth we believe human perceptions defined reality. I learned in heaven directly from God what I now call Source, that Source uses thoughts, energy to create the dream or fiction that humans experience as physical reality. The process is called manifesting. Source's immense core consciousness imagines and mentally projects the physical universe that humans believe is real. The concept reminds me of the movie The Matrix, though what Source does is infinitely more sophisticated. I personally watched and relived Source memories of expelling vast quantities of mental energy into what humans call outer space, but is in fact part of Source's infinite mind. Over eons, Source's thought energy eventually formed galaxies, stars, planets, clouds of gases, and everything else the wonderful Hubble telescope has brought to our viewing screens. Eons later, chemicals combined to form DNA, which then evolved into living plants and creatures, including human animals. After creating physical matter, Source imagined zillions of personalities or characters it could play to experience physical life through the phenomenon we call incarnation. We are those mental personality characters. We are parts of Source's own consciousness and self-awareness. We are not the human bodies we occupy. They are simply vehicles Source inhabits within its imagined universe. Near-death experiencers sometimes report seeing angel-like beings in the afterlife that they call beings of light. These beings of light are the visual representations of Source's carefully crafted mental personalities or characters. The rest of us call beings of life souls or spirits. In my books, I use the NDER, which is near-death experience, term light beings, or the common word souls, or my own term Source's mental characters, as shorthand for Source's self-awareness in the form of its mental personality characters. You and I are light beings. We are souls. We are Source's mental characters. We are not human, and we are not manifested like humans are. We exist as part of the ultimate reality of Source's consciousness. We are Source. From now on, when I say we, I mean we light beings, souls, and not humans. As miniature parts of Source, we light beings are the workhorses of incarnation. Like the rest of Source, we each have multiple levels of awareness that we can choose to experience collectively or individually. In addition, we each have a Source-designed unique personality composed of some traits innate to Source and some traits it can only imagine. We choose our incarnations consistent with our unique traits and reasons for experiencing physical life. To incarnate, we light beings follow the same process that created us. We mentally separate out part of our own Source self-awareness, one of our multiple levels of awareness, and blend it into a thing or creature in the physical universe. Humans call the part of us that incarnates the soul. The rest of our light being consciousness and levels of awareness remain in what humans call heaven. The effect is similar to what you experience when you dream. Part of your awareness thinks it is inside a character in the dream, and part stays with the body as it sleeps. You might call this a form of bilocation. From now on, when I use the term soul, I mean the level of Source awareness that each of us light beings has incarnated into physical matter. When we incarnate, the physical host already exists, whether it be animal, vegetable, or mineral. In other words, a human fetus already exists before a soul incarnates into it prior to birth. Source manifested humans as a species of earth animal with specific character traits in common with other animals. The personalities and identities we think belong to human beings are actually the eternal personalities of the light being souls inside them. I learned in the afterlife that human animals have their own rudimentary personalities, which are not much more sophisticated than those of domesticated dogs or horses. When part of our light being energy is working as a soul, it is not part of the manifested human animal. We merely inhabit humans via incarnation, blending one level of our light being's Source self-awareness intimately with theirs to the point that we are indistinguishable from our host bodies. The incarnation process Source design allows it to feel is inside each and every type of physical matter into which we incarnate. The effect is similar to what we feel when we dream we are inside a dream character looking out at a dream environment and activity. Source designed a form of amnesia that blankets us light being mental characters in order to give itself the sensation that what it experiences through us is real. Consequently, we are presently blinded to our true nature as Source, a phenomenon that has given rise to nearly all the misunderstandings we have about life, death, the afterlife, and everything else we care about. Note that I do not call the physical world an elaborate illusion. It most definitely is not an illusion to humans who experience it as their one and only reality. Yet, the physical universe is not an objective, solid, set-in-stone reality that exists independent of its creator. I learned in the afterlife that the universe exists only in Source's mind. The entire universe and all of its activities is Source's imagination, not unlike the computer-generated false reality in the Matrix on our own dreams. The physical world is Source's dream, for lack of a more accurate analogy, and we are the characters within the dream, though which Source experiences the dream. We are as much part of God's Source as our dream characters are part of us. I watch Source create the universe out of its own thought energy. We light beings likewise create physical matter and reality within the universe using Source's thought energy. That is how we consciously and unconsciously manifest our own lives as well as the physical world we see. And because we manifest our own physical lives, we literally have the spiritual power to create a new reality for ourselves and our human hosts. I'm going to read a little bit more and then I'm going to stop because we don't want this to get too long. Human definition of reality. Most of us believe there is only one reality, a physical solid shared by all awake and aware creatures world that we can count on being immutable. We believe this because the humans we inhabit believe it. But I learned in the afterlife that there are a million realities the least real of which is physical life. The bodies we inhabit believe reality must be physical. That is something you can touch, see, smell, or hear, or taste. Something a scientist can measure with an instrument. Something solid and permanent. An observation or experience that is fleeting could meet the definition of reality, but only if shared or reproducible by others. From the human perspective, we like being souls seem to be part of the individual physical entities called human beings. Many recoil when I use the term human animals, though that is the correct biological classification. The bodies we inhabit meet the human test of reality because they occupy space, have mass, and interact with their environment. During the time we occupy human animals, we souls believe we are human and that the source's dream of the universe is real. During human life, we souls employ a weaker form of the type of imagination source uses to manifest the universe to create our own dream characters and dreamscapes. But we believe reality exists at the level of the dreamer, the person who in the waking life uses his or her bodily senses to experience this world. Humans are accustomed to accepting walking life as reality. Dreams, they are taught, are not real. Hallucinations are not real. Visions and ghostly apparitions are not real according to human society. Imagination and creativity produce illusion, or so humans believe. Solid matter is the only reality they think. Our human hosts' physical limitations thus restrict our sense of reality while we are inside them. Though we light beings have total recall in our natural spiritual form, the part of us invested into human bodies suffer amnesia that conceals our eternal memories and alters our sense of reality. While we experience human life, we share human beliefs. We think like humans, we feel like humans, we accept the conceit that humans are the repositories of vast storehouses of knowledge, that they know the truth, the alleged truth, that physical matter is the only reality. We souls believe this because we think we have no alternative other than insanity. Armed with the human definition of reality, we souls reject our manifestations of reality that take the form of dreams, imaginings, and creative endeavors, calling them illusions. We call them fiction, not real. We consciously limit our sense of reality to what our animal host accepts as real. And thus we forget the truth about reality, the greater truth, the truth that exceeds the human capacity to understand. I learned in the afterlife that humans are wrong about reality. Reality changes as we expand our ability to perceive it. Reality changes with our level of awareness. And there are many, many stages of awareness. Generally, when we discuss reality, we mean solid matter and shared experiences. But even at the human level of existence, there are two categories or levels of reality: collective human reality and individual human reality. We souls and humans are familiar with dramatic changes in both. Now we can go on. We will stop right there. And if you want to hear more of this book, you would let me know in the comments and we can go in from there. So belief is defined as an acceptance that a statement is true or that something exists. His belief in the value of hard work is an example. Or trust, faith, or confidence in someone or something. That's what belief is defined as. Reality is defined as the world of the state of things as they actually exist, as opposed to an idealistic or a notional idea of them, or the state or quality of having existence or substance. So if we believe something deep enough, as she was kind of getting into, Miss Nanci, that creates our reality. Whatever you believe, yes, you believe it's real because you believe it. So when you're arguing with others, this is the right religion and that is it, and none of that is true. That's the part that you're playing, and that's what you really believe. So you believe it's true because you believe it, and hence the back and forth. Can we arguably say that a lot of us need to change our beliefs? We've believed that the world is chaotic, but it starts with our beliefs in the first place. Let me know what you think about what I just read. Let me know if you want to hear more from where we left off. We're about to enter the question and answer portion of this live. Remember, on Thursdays at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, there's a new video that drops. We didn't do it this week because I had my documentary drop, The Prodigal Daughter. So if you haven't checked that out, check it out. It was good. A lot of positive feedback. On Fridays, we do a live like we're doing now, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, where I come on, I introduce myself, then I have a video that I'll lean in that I'm pre-recorded so we can kind of get to it and not get lost and off topic. I'm talking about me, straight off topic. And then we'll lead into the question and answer portion, of which we're about to do shortly after this. Don't forget about the Sacred Safe Space community, where you can come in. It's a Zoom virtual group that I'm building, that we could just, talk. It might be some things that you're going through and you want another perspective on. I used to do it in person, called Soul Speak and Eat. The people there found value in it, but I just took it online due to, location and different stuff. I just think it'd be better to build it online and then go in person again. So don't forget about that. Then you are listening to the Hidden in Plain Sight live series, but I have a book as well. Volume 1 is out. I'll be having other volumes. It's only $5, no more than 14 pages, including the cover. Okay. So you can get through it. I had some positive feedback on that as well. And everything is always accessible through the information in the info box. The link is always RacquiRoadTV.com/network. That's nothing that you have to remember. Again, it's in the info box below. So we're about to get to our question and answer portion. Let me know how you felt about what I just read. Let me know if you want me to read more. You can always purchase the book from the information below. It was a very good book. I finished it in a few days. What are your thoughts? Did you learn anything? Did you feel like you've been duped? Like, how do you feel? Let me know in the comments. Let's get to the Q&A portion. Hey, you have tuned in. And we are back. Yes, we are. So, what did y'all think? What did y'all think about that? Do you have any new perspectives? I see some of y'all watching. Give me your feedback. I really enjoyed the book. Like I said, it took me less than a week to finish it. And because, I have things going on. If I could have sat down and I did nothing, of course, I'm sure I could have did it in a day. But, it's things to be done. And so what happened was, I had decided, we spend so much time on social media, because I put my stuff on social media, but and then I have to reply if people comment and stuff like that. But all that extra outside of that, I don't need to be on there. I can be reading and really expanding my knowledge and perspective. It even helps with my content. And so, the more you exercise the mind, the further it will go, the more it will travel. So, I just really wanted to know, what do you guys think? What do you think? And do you like topics like this? I know I like them, so I'm going to continue to do them. I'm going to try to push out another book too. But yeah, I just want you to let me know in the comments. Hopefully this question and answer portion will begin to grow more, because this is the part where you can see me and we can talk and go back and forth. But it's not quite like Zoom, right? Like the Sacred Safe Space would be, but I answer your questions in the comments. But yeah, just let me know what you think. Drop your questions. And I appreciate you for staying and sticking with this. I love you all. I thank you for your support. If you want to donate, that information is also in the info box. And that